Claudette Cookie Allens is a distinguished Bahamian actress and storyteller with a career spanning over 4 decades. She began a journey in the performing arts in 1970 with the University Players, initially joining to socialize but quickly discovering a passion for the stage. Her debut performance was in The Chance by Susan Wallace, which ignited her enthusiasm for theater. She's also performed with James Catlin and Friends, known for their comedic reviews of Bahamian society. And Cookie, who is still performing, joins us today on What's Trending. Welcome to the show. We're so lucky to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So tell us, what initially drew you to the performing arts, and did you ever imagine it would become such a significant part of your life?
No, because I didn't join to stay. I joined because I came from a very strict household. My father was very, very strict parents, really. And if you wanted to go somewhere, it had to be something lucrative. You could not just want to go out. So I joined Charles LaRoda, Freeport, and I worked together in my first job. And he said, you know, we're doing a recruitment process at the University Players. Why don't you come join? I said, yes. And so they first taught me read the script. So I read the script. Nothing to it, boom, boom, boom. They said, oh, the part is yours. I said, no way. I only come here to read or to be around and do things so I could get out of the house every so often. But I went on stage and I never realized what I was missing.
Wow.
And I never came off.
Clearly.
The boards pulled me.
Clearly. Yes. So you've worked with James Catlin and Friends. What was that experience like, and how did it shape your career?
It added to, because the training aspect of it from the theater side, from the going on stage with scripts and all that sort of stuff. James did scripts, he did them all himself, but his own was dialect. And what he wrote was from his past or what surrounded him in our dialect, keeping what was ours alive.
Yes.
And that's what was happening then. So that was exciting too. My goodness, I can put myself on stage, you know what I mean?
Yes.
What we do in the pond, because that was the area in which most of the work that he did came out of. But it was a diversion, but something real welcomed, because it was really who we were. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced as an actress in the Bahamas?
Well, one of the biggest things that I learned early in performing is Cookie does not go on stage. I had to get rid of that. Once you go on stage, you become, if you're going to be any kind of actress or anything, you become the individual that you are. Once you read who this person is, you submerge yourself into the characters and go out and find this individual, and you become that person on stage. Because I'm kind of shy, you know that.
I know nothing of the sort. So you performed internationally. How do audiences abroad respond to Bahamian theater compared to local audiences?
International audiences look for Bahamas. You know what I mean? The biggest audience I performed to was in South Africa, in an arena. I mean, it was huge. Storytelling, part of what I do. I would travel with the National Youth Choir, and if they travel without a guest artist, and there was a break, I would have to go out and do something. And normally I would do a story or something like that. And I looked over that mass crowd. I'd never seen anything so large in my life. And they responded so beautifully. So they were welcoming and they wanted more.
So you're also still very active at the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts. So tell us more about your current work and obviously the advancements that have been happening there to keep the Dundas alive.
Okay, I haven't performed since Colored Girls. That was in 2014 or 15. Okay. I haven't been on stage, but I've been very active. I do front of house, I do costumes, and anything what they ask me to do.
They keep you busy.
To keep me busy. Yeah, and as you know, we've made our Save the Dundas program that has exploded. and the work continues. We've gotten a little injection from the government, thank you, and so our work begins.
That's great.
Yeah, that is the biggest plus of everything. So in order to get everything done,
have to keep going.
Has to go. And of course, you know, we did not use the big theater. We didn't.
No, you did everything in the black box.
Everything, the little.
Right.
Oh, you know the black box.
I'm very familiar with the black box.
Yeah, so everything is. I'm trying to figure out now how we can manage when we go into this big theater again after being in this little space.
Yes, you're very confined.
Yes.
But we wanna also touch on a little bit about International Women's Day, and as we celebrated this weekend, what message would you like to send to women in the creative field about their potential and the importance of their voice?
If you are interested in theater, if you want to do it, do it. I mean, it's an opportunity, it's an avenue that you can express yourself. You go into characterization of somebody else, being somebody else, and for real, you know what I mean? Not mocking someone, you're being that person, portraying somebody else, and one of the biggest joys is trying to come back to yourself after you've been that person on stage. And so we, I mean, the Dundas has a cadre of young women who are not only wanting to go on stage, but are writers. We have a program at the Dundas called Shakespeare in Paradise. Yes. And there's a program, Short Tales, where people write a little 10-minute play. Not a skit, a play. And it was amazing the amount of young women who have come out and put their plays forward. And once the selection committee has chosen 10, they are put on and performed in the black box as an evening.
And it's awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so young women have great opportunities in the Dundas, not only on stage, which is great. I mean, I can tell you about those days.
But you need the writers,
but you need the writers and directors. Yes. Amazing young women, and that is what I try to do.
Well, we celebrate you.
Yes, thank you.
And we thank you so much for stopping by to chat with us today.
My pleasure.
Special Happy International Women's Day to you as well. And thank you so much for the cultural impact that you have made and are continuing to make, passing it on to future women in the crowd.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. And I will continue as long as there's some blood rushing through these veins of mine.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we have so much more on What's Trending. We'll be back in a moment.